Okay, thank you. Good afternoon. It's good to see so many of you here. Just before I talk about the operation and how we go forward from here, I did want to put on record our thanks to the vast majority of people who attended Bulldog Bash. The vast majority of people who attended are law-abiding citizens, and we found that by far most people were cooperative and supportive of what we're trying to do. And also, particularly for media local to Stratford, I'd like to put on record our thanks to local communities who were very supportive and tolerant of any disruption to their lives. The police operation was successful. No one this year was killed or seriously injured as a direct result of attending Bulldog Bash. The operation was necessary and proportionate, otherwise we wouldn't have done it. Our operational approach specifically for the event is based on intelligence and an understanding of the threat to the people attending, travelling to and leaving the event. But I also want to talk very specifically about why we opposed Bulldog Bash. My one regret from the weekend is that we didn't manage to prevent an organised crime group from fundraising in the county, fundraising to support their criminal activities locally, nationally and internationally. There's been a lot of reporting about the force's position on Bulldog Bash. What I wanted to do, if I could, was just make one or two very clear statements just to clarify our position for the avoidance of doubt. Warwickshire Police have no agenda whatsoever against law-abiding people. The majority of people who attend Bulldog Bash are law-abiding. We want them to have a good, safe event, any event that people attend in Warwickshire. That's very important to us, and we recognise that most are law-abiding people. We also recognise that not every member of the Hells Angels is a criminal, but the Hells Angels as an organisation is designated as an organised crime group. We'll welcome motorcyclists to any event in the county, provided that it's well run, it's safe, and the proceeds of the event aren't used by an organised crime group to fund serious criminality, including murder and serious injury. We have no agenda against motorcyclists or motorcycling. That said, if criminals happen to be part of the motorcycling community, and they're a very small minority of the motorcycling community, we will do all we can to protect communities from the harm that they cause. The force position in relation to Bulldog Bash, therefore, remains unchanged. We'll continue to oppose any event that contributes to serious organised crime or which helps to perpetuate the violent conflict between criminal motorcycle gangs. The Hells Angels are an organised crime group. I have absolutely no doubt that they are involved in an ongoing, brutal feud with other motorcycle gangs such as the Outlaws, and I've got no doubt that the police have a role in preventing that from escalating, as we've seen internationally and as we've seen locally. If, as the Hells Angels say, they're a group that raises money purely for the lawful benefit of its members and for charity and social good, I would invite them to open up their books and show us where the money goes, the significant profits from Bulldog Bash. Where is that money going? The suggestion that the conflict between criminal motorcycle groups is incidental and unplanned and uncoordinated is not true. If we just look locally, the murder of Jerry Tobin was planned and orchestrated. The riot at Birmingham Airport was planned and orchestrated. If, as the Hells Angels suggest, and the Outlaws suggest, the violence is unplanned and unsanctioned, why is it that there's no attempt from either group to distance themselves from the members of their groups who commit these very serious offences? In reality, both the Hells Angels and the Outlaws support people who've been convicted in courts and are serving prison sentences. They don't distance themselves from them. They actively support criminals within their midst who've done some pretty awful things to other people whilst they're in prison. We would be failing in our duty if we didn't do everything that we can that's lawful and ethical to protect communities, and we will continue to do so. And that includes preventing organised crime groups from raising money within our county to harm people locally, regionally, nationally and internationally. And we will be relentless in taking action between now and August 2010 with a view to stopping the next Bulldog Bash going ahead, as long as it's organised by an organised crime group and it's creating risk of harm here and elsewhere. Thank you.
Thank you, Keith. I think you'll probably all know that the police authority is responsible for ensuring the force delivers an effective and an efficient policing in the county, and we as a body are responsible publicly to account for those services. over the past few months, the authority has debated at length at two of its meetings this whole question of how the Bulldog Bash should be policed and the implications of that. And indeed, we have had two of our members attending this weekend to see for themselves the operation, how it was conducted, and they have reported back how impressed they were with the operation as it was set out. The authority is particularly pleased that this year has been considerably more consultation with the local communities and the introduction, for instance, of roads passes to local residents and businesses. And I think there has been a far better arrangement with the locals than perhaps we've seen recently, and we are very pleased from the authority's perspective that that has happened. We are, of course, pleased, in particular, that this has cost a lot less than we had anticipated. It is significantly less than last year, although, of course, we won't know the final figures just yet, but they will be reported to the authority at one of its forthcoming meetings, and hopefully in the next few weeks. I think, as the Chief Constable has said, there is no question that the force welcomes any motorcyclists to Warwickshire, providing they're here on lawful business, and that they are not partaking in actions that would bring not only their organisation, but I would suggest both the county and the force into disrepute. We will, of course, have a very full report to the authority in due course, and I would remind you that authority meetings are open to the public, and I would anticipate that you will be looking at the agendas which are published before the meetings, and would invite you to attend those and hear for yourselves the debate that takes place. I also want to take the opportunity to invite all members, any members of the public, to contact the authority with their views and opinions on how this policing operation was run. And you will find the contact details for that on the release which will be handed out after this meeting. And finally, I think I'd just like to say that we as an authority understand the public concern that the requirement to police Bulldog Bash does result in less officers and staff for other duties. This was a hard but necessary choice. And I suppose finally I must say the authority has fully backed the force in all its work towards this operation. Thank you.